大家好，我叫杰森，今天我要读一首中文歌曲的歌曲叫动画。忘了有多久，再没听到你对我说你最爱的故事。我想了很久，我开始慌了，是不是我又做错了什么？你哭着对我说，童话里都是骗人的，我不可能是你的王子。也许你不会懂，从你说爱我以后，我的天空星星都亮了，我演变成童话里你爱的那个天使，张开双手变成翅膀守护你。你要相信我们会像童话故事里，幸福和快乐是结局，一起写我们的结局。谢谢你。Hello everyone, my name is Dharmasaputra Setiawan. Today, I am going to be explaining and analyzing Tonghua by Guang Liang. Through the Chinese song Tonghua or fairy tale, a reality is constructed. Fairy tales can be understood as stories that don't really happen and don't make sense. If you hear the word fairy tale, it is not uncommon for people to imagine a happy life in a kingdom. Then, in the reality of life, things often happen in a not happy way. I obtained several findings through several video clip scenes on the song Tonghua. Here are the findings. Number 1. Loss of faith to happiness. In denotation, the song Tonghua presents the story of a couple who want to live happily like in a fairy tale. However, because of the realities of life, the main female character loses her belief in a happy life. However, the male lead did not give up. Through the lyrics of the song, you have to believe we can be like in a fairy tale. Happiness and pleasure are the end of our story, which is repeated in the chorus of the song. It is hoped that it can re-instill that sense of trust. Number 2. Usage of black. In connotation, in the video clip of Tonghua's song, using black to describe a dark, cold, and gloomy atmosphere and featuring many non-verbal symbols such as eye contact, body gestures, facial expressions. Through the first scene, you get the meaning that behind someone's success, there is a story behind it. In the song, the love story is the story behind it. There is a woman behind a man's success. Behind the success of a man, it turns out that there is a great woman behind him. Although their love story can't be like happy story in fairy tales, there are realities that hinder the process of happiness. In the reality of life, humans can experience pain that makes a person unhappy and death that makes a person be separated from loved ones. This, in contradiction to the song lyrics which convey by the meaning of subjectivity, happiness in fairy tales can happen if people believe. Through the song lyrics, a subjective reality is wanted to be built. However, the process is very long because there is a conflict between the values of objectivity and subjectivity. In the video clip, the female character does not believe in fairy tales. Meanwhile, the male character believes it. It is caused by different values of subjectivity, and to build the subjective reality requires a long process. This persuasion process requires human actions. In the video, through this sincere love of the male lead, such as calling his girlfriend before a concert, giving his shoulder when his lover is sad as a sign of comfort, paying attention with sincerity, taking care of his lover when she is sick. These actions are the process of building a subjective value into an objective reality. In the end, the female character does not necessarily accept the subjectively constructed reality. There is a culture that works behind it to strengthen the delivery of invisible meanings. Mythically, traditional cultures, especially those originating from Chinese culture, are quite influential in the actions taken in the video clip of Tonghua. Number 4. Ojigi culture. Through the video clip and song lyrics, the author captures some of the myths that work behind the song. In the first scene, Ojigi is a culture of gratitude that has been adapted by Japanese culture. It comes from Chinese teachings and is no longer practiced by the Chinese, except in very formal occasions. According to one of the sources, an expert on Chinese culture, the Ojigi culture is not only for thanking, but also for paying respect to the elders. In addition, there is also Sinren, belief that is embraced by the Chinese culture. By having faith, humans believe that feng shui turns rotating. It will not always be in a bad state, but one day good feng shui will also come here. Therefore, people must have a high work ethic culture and have high aspirations to welcome good feng shui. It is said that if a person has good feng shui, it will bring their fate to be good, prosperous, healthy, happy, and influence their children and grandchildren to have good luck. Tonghua is a song in a medium convey a message about the beautiful life in fairy tales. Fairy tales are not a reality but subjective value. The author wants to build a subjective reality, namely happiness. In dealing with this reality, knowledge and reality are the main keys to understanding it. The reality embraced by humans is indeed different, and sometimes humans also build their own reality through personal views, and that requires a very long process. So the conclusion is, Tonghua song constructs a reality about happiness like in a fairy tale and wants to build a belief in it. In connotation, Tonghua has two contradictory things. Humans have to experience illness and death, while on the other hand, humans want to have a happy life. In addition, the author also wants to show the story behind the success of a musician. Successful people are not necessarily happy. Every human being is faced with the reality of illness and death, so that the belief in happiness is lost. Through this song, there is a desire to rebuild that reality, which requires a long process, such as through non-verbal actions and myths that influence human actions, making a person believes in the reality of happiness. Through this song, there is an inculcation of traditional values, customs, cultures, beliefs that are still held by the Chinese community today, but some have been abandoned by urban communities. Therefore, the reality of a happy life and traditional values want to be reconstructed by Tonghua song through a process of internalization, which includes real actions that are influenced by nonverbal movements, such as sincerity, emotions, expressions, colors, as well as myths, and the cultivation of traditional values to prove that humans can live happily as long as they believe and work hard. However, in the end, it comes back to each individual to see what his life is like. Thank you for listening to my literature. Hope you enjoy and learned something from it. Thank you, and God bless.